What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, daily episode number 28, I believe. And today we're going to cover what happened. Honestly, there isn't too much to talk about. I did cover in the Telegram today how this was a low probability day, and you should definitely log it away in your study journals to refer back to when we have days like these and possibly weeks like these where price isn't giving you much to work with. We're stuck inside of a dealing range and price is just moving sideways. It's very lackluster. So those are days where you have to understand your your rules come in place first and then your psychology, because some people could have saw a setup today and took a loss, and experience will over time really start to show you what days are high probability versus low probability. I mean, there's rules and things that I've said in the Telegram today that you can follow and kind of distinguish which days are going to be more high probability or less probability. But overall, you can, start to gauge with experience what, price action just looks like in general. You can just see from the candles that this is just low probability. So going into the daily chart, let's start off here. We've been just slowly gravitating towards this low here that we've been targeting all week. Tomorrow we have some news, plus Friday. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. There's a few things, but for me personally, I would love if we get a drive underneath that low there, and then we can expand back up into that weekly range. That is a possibility. The only other one that I do see is us just continuing lower. Like we see a massive drop in price, which inside days. So if we look at the daily chart here, when you have an inside day, what that means is price closes inside of the previous day high and the previous day low. So this is an inside candle day, which leads to a large expansion range day the next day or the following day. So I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow or Friday we really get a large range expansion. Okay, so be aware of that coming into tomorrow. Looking at the 4-hour chart, there honestly isn't too much to talk about. Looking at the 1-hour chart, same thing. I mean, I covered in the morning session how we returned into this fair value gap here. Small bearish order block here as well, returning into a premium relative from the dealing range high down to the dealing range low. I'll put that on the chart just so you guys can see it. So returning into that premium, it just was so sloppy, the delivery of it. Like this should have already taken out those lows. So somebody asked me about why I said speed. I believe that was on Tuesday or Monday. I was talking about how price should have speed, because price shouldn't spend too much time in a PD array area. So we're residing inside of this fair value gap here, right? But look at how much time is being spent in here. It should have already drove up in here and had speed down on the lows. That's what should have happened if you were looking to short here. Having this much time spent in here, for me, it's too uncomfortable. It's just signaling low probability to me, and that goes for all time frames, lower time frames, higher time frames. 30-minute. I covered this morning how we displaced lower. We had this fair value gap on the 30-minute. Again, we just continue to use it. It's another prime example of time being spent too much time inside of one area. I don't like that personally. I like to see, one time traded up to the fair value gap, and then, on this retracement here, we should have saw that speed underneath the lows. So as soon as you saw that, again, that retracement into it, and let's say you were short, it's probably a good sign to probably kill the trade or, reduce your risk. So that's a good little note there. Nothing much to talk about. Like I said, today's very lackluster, and we're gonna have days like this. And you have to understand that days like this, you got to protect yourself, protect your capital, protect your mental capital above anything, because that can transfer over to the next day or the day after. So, like I said, looking at tomorrow, I will be looking for this low. I wouldn't be surprised if this is taken out prior to New York session. And if that is the case, then we'll kind of just go by ear and see what price is giving us. Ideally, I would like a purge setup underneath here where we get that displacement higher, return into the fair value gap and a discount. And then I could see these buy stops possibly being ran here. We have a relative equal highs here. I said to study this just because we did have FOMC ahead of us. So it was something that could have possibly have taken it out and then ran lower. Today was actually FOMC meeting minutes, which is not as volatile as the actual FOMC event. So if you didn't know that, put it down in your notes. I believe the only other thing I have for you guys is looking at the SMT. So if you look at US 100, so NASDAQ, the low here that we were targeting, NASDAQ has already taken it out. US 30, we have not taken it out. And you can see even US 30 is just staying range bound. I mean, that is signaling bullish SMT, but I don't think it's primed just yet. I believe if US 30, let's say we come down here and we fail to make that lower low, but US 500 does and US 100 continues lower, then we could possibly see a retracement. But we'll just have to see what price action looks like by tomorrow morning. Yeah, there just isn't too much to talk about today. So that's going to be it for me tonight, guys. Until tomorrow, good luck and good trading.